Welcome, everybody. Race 6 of the AT&T Champ Car World Series season. We are under the lights here late night in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond Raceway once again hosting the IndyCar World Championship. 5 races down, 15 to go. It's time for some short track racing. 300 laps, 225 miles here tonight. 28 cars set to contest tonight's event. On the front row, you see Sakura Ishibashi alongside Thomas Rogers. They qualify front of the field tonight. Again, 28 cars. Pre-qualifying determined the 6 that came in from pre-qualifying to make this 28 car field up on top of the 22 cars that were already locked in. Huge talking points going into tonight's race. We found out through pre-qualifying Valerie Fang, for the first time in her career, will fail to qualify. Karina Choa will come in for the first time for Scuderia Ghia, making that team's first appearance in the season. Pressure is building and anticipating with the 110th Indianapolis 500 right around the corner. We welcome you to ABN Sports coverage of the Champ Car World Series. Sakura Ishibashi and Thomas Rogers on the front of the field. It's Cat Racing versus Team Impulse, Kyoto versus Osaka, Honda versus Toyota at the front. Natalia Kurechenko and Kini Kinoshita in row 2. Kinoshita, the defending world champion, the points leader, sitting with a 25-point buffer going into tonight's race, needing to recover going into tonight's race at Richmond. Nicole Lechty and Artyom Kozlov in row 3, both of them in the top 5 in the World Championship. Artyom Kozlov, the Russian ace, sitting in second in points. Nicole Lechty sitting third in points. So all the championship front runners really close together in the field. Alicia Kovalkiewicz, her first short oval back since returning from injury full-time. She sits in row 4 alongside last year's race winner at this race, Cameron Jackson. Matthias Michelin and Evangeline Porter sit in row 5. They make up the top 10. In row number 6, sporting a new look, Motorola-sponsored car of Bianca Lucero for Obsidian Racing Team, the 2-time Atlantic Series champion, will start in 11th place alongside 5th place in the points right now, Astrid Crane for Good Smile Rosgreaves. Elise Alexander and Simona LaRose sit in row number 7. Row 8 is BK Glover and Marcus Petrovich. Row 9, Andrew Draco and Kage Kobayashi. Row 10, Esther Hofson and Katrina Ochoa. We mentioned Ochoa making her first start tonight in the season. And what a way to start off. Top 20 for Ochoa in qualifying. Natalia Velisovich, David Wessel, top 22. They are in row 11. Row 12 is Asada Kito and Wyatt Jones. Row 13, Rex Riley for Fortune Racing alongside Shinichi Kamaya. They'll have a lot of work to do to get them in the back of the field tonight. Anastasia Von Sonnen and Keisha Fox make up the back of the field on row 14. But a lot of work in store for some drivers here tonight as we get ready to go. Again, 28 cars. We're expecting multiple pit stops in this race. Expecting, I believe, it's a 3 pit stop race with how things have lined up based off what we've seen in practice. So we'll see if that works out here tonight. Again, 300 laps, 225 miles. This is a 3/4 mile oval. We've seen a lot of races here in Richmond Raceway. Champ car, modified, stock cars, you name it. It's been here. One of the diamonds in the Mid-Atlantic. Again, the command to fire engines not too far away as things get ready to go. Again, all eyes are going to be at the front of the field. The championship contenders are at the front of the field. All of them are at the front of the field. All of them are in the top 12. You're going to have to need to maintain that consistency to go forward in this season. But seriously, some work to do as we get ready to go. Again, Sakura Ishibashi once again on pole position. Ishibashi has been unmatched in qualifying. This is her 4th pole in 6 races, but still winless. Only 1 top 5 and top 10. It's not been a pleasant start of the season for Ishibashi.
Start your engines!
As you hear the command to fire engines here at Richmond Raceway, the DirecTV 225 set to begin shortly. Again, expecting to have 3, maybe 4 pit stops in this race. A little bit more age surface, a little bit rougher. And oh, trouble for Ishibashi at the start. Mechanical failure for Ishibashi at the very start will promote Kurachenko to the front of the field. And for the 4th time, Ishibashi will not be able to win from pole. Green flag is in the air. Away we go. It is on the control of Striker Motorsports, Natalia Kurachenko. With Thomas Rogers in 2nd, 3rd place, Nicole Lectie. Chevrolet now out front. Excuse me, Alpine out front. With Toyota in tow. Chevrolet in 3rd. Caution's out already, though. And the caution's out for Keisha Fox. Wyatt Jones got a piece of it as well. Craziness on the opening lap. What happened here with Keisha Fox? Everyone trying to make something happen. This is on the opening set of laps. Starting lap 2. Keisha Fox trying to make her way forward. Started this race on the inside of the last row. 3 wide. It's Von Sonnen in the middle. And that's what happened. Trying to force a 3 wide situation. And for Keisha Fox, it is race over. Von Sonnen and Wyatt Jones work to do already. Wyatt Jones, not a great start here at Richmond. Wyatt Jones will be in pit lane, trying to get repairs done. A lot of cars coming in early. Reminder that Ishibashi fell out on the initial start. An engine failure, the cause of it. Wyatt Jones officially out, Keisha Fox out on the opening laps. 3 cars already out. We're down to 25 as the leaders come in. This time by. So this will jamble up the field dramatically. It moves the Evangeline Porter to the front of the field as the leaders come in on different laps. Everyone taking an interesting strategy call here at a track where track position is important. Porter now up front with Elise Alexander in 2nd. BK Glover to 3rd. Then you have the 77 of Simona Leroux. Andrew Draco up to the top 5. That's the 42 of Kage Kobayashi. Esther Hobson there as well in the top 10. There is the 13 of Natalia Velisevich. Then you have Astra Crane. There's the new look for Asada Kito, the Kanika Minolta number 86. Will, I believe, move to the fringe of the top 10. In fact, Asada Kito will end up being classified in 10th ahead of Marcus Petrovich. Then you have Rex Riley up to 12th place. As we look over further down the order here, Shinichi Kamaya 13th. There is Katrina Ochoa. Started 20th, already up to the 14th spot. David Wessel in 15th. 16th is where you'll find Natalia Kurachenko. A lot of the front runners now at the back of this field. What is that going to spell for the rest of this race? Do we see more early cautions in this event? Single file restart here. Lights are on the pace car, so we've still got another lap here of pacing to do. This is going to be very interesting to figure out. Talk about a disaster. Three cars at the back of the field. Wyatt Jones started 24th. Von Sundern and Keisha Fox were on the last row, and all three of them in trouble, if not completely out. Looks like Von Sundern is restarting this race in 22nd position. So we will have 25 take this restart. The lights on the Chevy Camaro ZL1 pace car are out, meaning we are about to go back to racing with Evangeline Porter set to lead the way over Elise Alexander, BK Glover, and Simona LaRoe. Green flag back out and away. Racing once again, this time with a lot more questions here at Richmond. And Porter comes in. We'll see why. That could be a penalty for entering a closed pit lane. That gives Alexander the race lead. Sophomore driver. Second generation driver. Now leads the way. Getting confirmation it is a penalty being served for Porter. Alexander leads, Glover, then LaRoe, then Draco, top 5, along with Kage Kobayashi. And behind, at the fringe of the top 10, it is chaos. There is Kurachenko, that pink Alienware machine, fighting her way forward, as is the defending world champion. Inside lane's the place to be. Leaders in tow. Trying to get to the top 10. Center of your screen right now between Rex Riley and Natalia Kurachenko is the battle for 12th. There comes Kuni Kinoshita with work to do. Gets the inside of Kurachenko to dispatch the Russian driver. With the Canadian of Riley up next. Likewise, Achala showing some pace in that 36 car. Has struggled to make the field all season. Now in the field for the first time and looking strong. As Kinoshita still struggling to get clear of Riley. Will finally get clear here. That Fortune Racing car showing that it is able to hold up at least a partial amount to the World Championship machinery. Up near the front of the field again, it's Alexander leading a 3-car breakaway with LaRoe at the tail and Glover in the middle. Draco in 4th on an island. Then it's Kobayashi leading another train. And that's where you kind of go all the way back from Kobayashi to the World Champion Kinoshita. Kobayashi, Velisevich, Frayne, Hobson, Quito, and there's Kinoshita getting ready to leapfrog Petrovic here. Both the Vanta Racing cars looking similar, running the same paint scheme, just inverted colors. As Velisevich looks to the inside of Kobayashi. Two rookies going at it here. For the top 5, Kobayashi almost got clear. Chevrolet versus Alpine. Chevrolet's got the advantage. Tamagata Sport to the top 5. With their rookie driver, with Porter now laps down after serving a penalty for entering a closed pit lane. Draco's closing in on the top 3. We've gotten through the opening stanza on these tires. Firestone bringing the alternate soft compound tire to this race at Richmond. Increased tire degradation will play a factor tonight. Kenosha to the inside of Asada Quito and get the round. The Konica Minolta machine will drop back down to 10th place. Behind Quito is Petrovic, Kurachenko, and Riley. There's Thomas Rogers, started this race second place. Still struggling to get around the 36 of Ochoa. Then you see there's the 88, that new look Motorola machine for Bianca Lucero, filling in for the injured Isabel Espinoza. Lucero trying to make her way forward after having a very disappointing start of her season in Mexico and Texas. There's Kurachenko making a move on, I believe that is Petrovic, the 21 still. Kurachenko struggling to make forward progress. Someone not struggling to make forward progress is Kinoshita. Started this race in 4th place. Trying to dispatch cars one by one, taking on Esther Hofson there. In that Visit Florida, number 28. Kobayashi, next in line. Then it's Astrid Crane, who's gotten around the Japanese driver. The rookie versus the champion. Kobayashi will eventually get passed and dispatched by the defending world champion. Kobayashi will then use the outside lane to defend from Esther Hofson, and successfully does so. Kobayashi trying to find his groove. His first time visiting the Richmond Raceway, as there is Natalia Velicevic getting around Andrew Draco. Draco complaining about a little bit of understeer in that number 20 machine. In-car reports from Draco saying he can't quite make passes yet, but he's holding station. Velicevic just, I think, a little bit faster right now in the early going. But all of them in the top 5 seem like they're just trying to hold off the impending storm from Cat Devil Racing. Only one car for Cat Devil Racing in this race. One car failed to qualify, the other out on the opening lap. It is on the shoulders of Kinoshita. For a team that, despite the reliability woes that have come from the Honda power plants this year, continues to lead the World Championship. Kinoshita goes around the Allison Alien, Astrid Crane. That is for the top 6. Now Kinoshita has her sights set on Draco. Another Honda engine is out. And Draco makes his way down to the pit lane quickly. Another Honda engine in 31 laps is out. And that would explain why he lost time to Velicevic. Is it an engine or is it a gearbox? A lot of shifting going on in these cars here around Richmond Raceway. What part has failed on the 20 machine? Dragon Motorsports down to 2. For the last oval race before the Indianapolis 500 in May. That is not a good omen. Sitting just near the fringe of the top 10, near the fringe of the top 5. Kinoshita now in 5th. Astrid Crane up to 6th. 4 cars separating Kinoshita from the race lead. A race that she finished on the podium last year. Three wins for the defending world champion. Trying to make it 4 of 6. Alexander controlling the pace at the front of the field. Striker Motorsports, as a total, has led just about every lap of this race. "35 laps in. Engine failure for Andrew Draco confirmed. A valve issue on that 20 machine. Evangeline Porter 1 lap down. The only car a lap down at this point in the field. So 2 engine failures in the opening stanza of this race. We're not even a quarter of the way through. Honda and those engines have to be concerned, and I would not be surprised if the Toyota powertrains and the Team Impulse machines would possibly be concerned as well. Both of them running a similar powertrain system, turbocharged inline 4s in those cars, compared to the V6 in the Alpine and the V8 in the Chevrolet. Kenosha's made her way forward, but the pace on the 18 has slowed as she has caught up to these cars that are mostly Chevrolets and Alpines. There's a Toyota in there and BK Glover, but it is Alpine and Chevrolets making it 3 of the top 5. That is a huge ordeal right now. As Velisevich tries to make a move on Leroux, this is the battle for the 4th position. Does Kenosha try to make a move on this position as well? She will. Race of attrition right now here at Richmond Raceway. And on a night where temperatures are not that bad. Looking at low 70s, 72 degrees right now is the ambient temperature here at Richmond Raceway. It is not a bad night for racing in any stretch of the capacity, and obviously you see the crowd on hand tonight in Virginia. Phenomenal crowd. Almost put away from that impending battle between the two red machines. It's Fujitsu versus Coca-Cola. Kenosha versus Velisevich. Glover missed out on being in the top 5 after a bad result at home last time out at Texas. But not far off of the top 5. Only 7 points away from Crane entering tonight's race. And right now sitting really firmly back in those positions. Gaining a lot of time on a lot of positions and points on both Crane and Glover's teammate there in Thomas Rogers. Porter likewise will drop a lot of points, sitting right now 24th in the field. Kenosha having her hands full with Velisevich. Now we've got a race for the podium. And as these two battle, it allows Glover and Alexander to pull a small gap. Again, soft compound tire. It means that these tires are a lot more sensitive, especially at the front. That front right will be blistering and graining severely as this race goes on. Kenosha looks to the inside of Velisevich. The sophomore driver in her first full season contesting for Rookie of the Year status. Going door to door, side to side, wheel to wheel. With one of the greatest drivers in Champ Car history. Kenosha couldn't make a pass happen. Velisevich defended the outside lane and got the momentum to hold on to it. We've seen the crossover point where the outside lane has become the better lane defensively. Velisevich still covering off Kenosha. Kenosha peeked to the outside that time, but they will stay attached to that yellow line. Kenosha peeks to the inside again. Trying to make something happen against the Slovenian driver. Leroux not far behind as well. These top 5 have opened up a gap to Esther Hobson, who's gotten around Asher Crane, as has Thomas Rogers. There's Kobayashi holding on to the top 10. Kito in 10th still. Then it's Kurachenko 11th. 12th place for Petrovich. 13th place for Nicole Lechty. 14th place for Katrina Ochoa. Solid points so far. Let's see if it holds on as we approach lap 50. There's Bianca Lechero, the San Marinian, in the 15th position. 16th place belongs to Matheus Michelin, the Brazilian driver. Rex Riley in 17th place, dropping slowly but surely, just ahead of Alicia Kovalkiewicz, who took that pit stop early, lost a lot of positions in ground, a track position critical race. Will that come back to bite the Cherokee GP driver? Artyom Kozlov also thinking that that would have been a mistake. Her teammates are up near the front. Kozlov is not. Kamaya in 8th place. Not in 8th place. Kamaya is in 20th place behind Artyom Kozlov. Kozlov still trying to find a way around Kovalkiewicz as they sit in 19th position. 21st will be David Wessel. Cameron Jackson, the defending race winner, sitting in 22nd. 23rd and wounded still is Anastasius von Sonnen after that 3-wide crash with Wyatt Jones and Keisha Fox. 4 cars out. Draco, Jones, Fox, and Ishibashi. after 53 laps in this race. Still side by side. Does Kenosha get clear this time? She will. It took enough time, enough laps, 13 laps of battling, but Kenosha's back to the front. Third place for the 18 machine, and now chasing down Glover and Alexander. Pit stops expected again about lap 95. We are firmly in a 3 pit stop window. Here we go. Kenosha looking to the inside of Glover. Will not make a move this time through 1 and 2. Laps ticking away here at Richmond Raceway. Top 5 still all under a blanket as they all try to catch up to the lap car of Anastasius Fonson, and lap traffic played a factor last year when Astrid Crane won the race out of a Honda 123. We're not going to see a Honda 123, I don't think, this year. Kenosha being really the largest and predominant Honda banner carrier here in this race. Rogers has gotten ahead of both the Honda cars behind him. That is Crane, the defending race winner, and Esther Hobson. Crane and Hobson side by side. Crane in the 80. Hobson in the darker blue, number 28. Nightmare for spotters right now, especially under the lights. Not so much a nightmare for those watching Kurichenko and Kobayashi, as well as the 86 of Asada Kito. Black with blue accents for Kito. First time we've seen that scheme this season. There is Nicole Lechty looking at the inside before Petrovich shut the door. Still mighty impressed with 36's pace. Here this season, that team has been very hard in terms of finding success. First race they've qualified for this season, and they've made it count in such a phenomenal factor. A huge momentum boost for the Scuderia Ghia camp ahead of the upcoming race for the first time on the streets of Miami. That continues there. Ochoa sitting just outside the top 10 in 14th place at the moment. As we browse our way back to the front of the field, there's Kenosha and Glover battling for second place. Glover sticking to the outside lane. Kenosha making a little bit easier work of Glover than she did of Ilisevich. Glover in his 13th season of competition here in the Champ Car World Series. Kenosha in her 7th. Two veterans chasing down a sophomore driver in Elise Alexander. Pressure is on for the Striker Motorsports driver. Kenosha peeks to the inside. And here comes pit stops. Alexander makes a pit stop there. Gives the 9-year veteran Kenosha the race lead, but it checked up the leaders as well. May have been by design. Thomas Rogers has gotten clear and well clear at that. As pressure piles on to Crane and Hobson as they both come in, as does Thomas Rogers and BK Glover. Pit stops underway and they've come in early. The pit window we were anticipating was lap 95. They've come in 25 laps early. So this has shifted significantly from a 3-stop race to a potential 5-stop race. They've got 8 sets of tires. So overall, not a huge concern as far as supplies and necessities to get to the end of this race. But that is a rough go of it as Kurachenko piles in, Kobayashi stays out, as does Kito and Lechty. As cars come out of pit lane, fresh tires will become a pretty significant issue as lap traffic becomes the word of the day. Here comes some of the leaders. Kito stays out. Kenosha comes in, or Kenosha, sorry, stays out because she had already come in. Race leaders come in this time though. Kito, Hobson, now at the front of this field. Hobson not on the lead lap, took fresh tires and trying to find her way around the race leader. Everyone talking about needing adjustments made to their cars. Kito, a sitting duck right now on those old tires, as everyone's on fresher tires. There goes Hobson now to the inside, and will get around, as will Ashford Crane, who made sure that that door did not close. When does Kito come in? He comes in this time. Pit stops completed, I think, for the most part here. Should give Kenosha the race lead. I see everyone a lap down right now with Kito just now coming down pit lane. But Kito will end up losing some time here with how long he stayed out on those older tires. He pushed it an extra 7 laps, so it's not a bad effort. There's Kovalkiewicz coming out just ahead of the race leader. Will be in danger of going a lap down. One Cherokee GP car left in this race with Keish Fox already out after the lap 2 crash early on in this race. It is Kenosha, Alexander, Glover, Rogers, Vulisevich, and LaRoe top 6. Kurachenko, Hobson, Crane, and Lechty top 10. So next round of pit stops expected to take place then about lap 135 to lap 140, excuse me. As Kenosha works on Kovalkiewicz here, trying to put that 96 car lap down. Kovalkiewicz will fight it back though. The more that these two fight, the more it allows Alexander and Glover to catch up. However, that fight will be short-lived as Kenosha gets clear. Traffic and managing dirty air, managing tires, becoming pivotal in this race. And that's something we were excited to see from some of the drivers that were deeper in the field. Wyatt Jones, a veteran of this track and different machinery, but used to managing tires and traffic. Obviously in the NAMRA Cup Series, 43 cars on track at any given time. Made that a very interesting prospect, but unfortunately that will not be the case, being one of those retired on lap 2. approaching the 1/3 point. We're on lap 85 of 300. Kenosha in between David Wessel and Alicia Kovalkiewicz at the front of the field. Pit stops have cycled through all the way through. Glover making a move for second place on Elise Alexander and using Anastasia von Sonnen as a pick. You'll see that a lot in this race, especially as more lap traffic is produced. Did not get around von Sonnen, but got around Alexander, which was the objective. And now Glover goes after von Sonnen to pick off in clear for second place. Alexander down to third. Thomas Rogers in fourth. Rogers fourth place in the points. Sitting pretty decent so far to continue that streak going. Natalia Vulicevic looks really quick in the first stanza of this race, but has dropped down a slower pit stop, down to fifth. There is Bianca Lucero, who is not on the lead lap, sitting right ahead of Simona Leroux, who is on the lead lap in sixth place. Then there's Natalia Kurachenko, not far away from the defending race winner, Astrid Crane. Esther Hofson, there's Evangeline Porter, who's not on the lead lap, I believe 2 laps down now, with where things are sitting. Then there is the 78 of Nicole Lechty. Side by side, outside the top 10. This is battle for 11th between multiple-time race winner Matthias Michelin and the Canadian rookie and Rex Riley, battling just outside the top 10 at the moment. And not far behind, right there in this battle, is Artyom Kozlov. They've made their way back up to 13th using pit stops, as Riley tries to hold off the onslaught here. It will not happen. They'll lose 2 laps. They'll lose 2 spots in one go, as the 2 non-binary drivers in the field trade positions there, 13th and 14th. Or sorry, 12th and 13th there for Kozlov and Riley. Marcus Petrovich not far behind either, 14th place for Vontair Racing's lead driver. Both Vontair cars sitting pretty decent so far, both of them in the same part of real estate. There's the 21 of Petrovich, just ahead of Kamaya. There's Asada Kito, who lost a lot of positions, down to 16th place for him. He was 10th before pit stops. And then there's Kaka Kobayashi in 17th position, excuse me. Another car that lost time, staying up too long, Katrina Ochoa. Meanwhile, Cameron Jackson up to 19th, gained a couple spots there in this run, but now the next car in line for his former teammate in Kunika Yoshida. Once upon a time, teammates with Honda and Formula One. Once upon a time, together in the Cat Dove Racing stable in Champ Car. Now, Cameron Jackson leads Dragon Motorsports, while Kenosha continues to be the flag carrier for Cat Dove Racing. Both of them had what you would consider career seasons in Champ Car last season. Obviously, a shortened season with the H1N1 pandemic. But both of them ended up doing phenomenal for themselves in that season. And then you think about the last time they were here in 2021, both of them were on the podium, second and third. Times have changed a little bit, though. Now in 2023, Kenosha, odds-on favorite to become world champion again. Kovalkiewicz staying in line. Both of them dispatched David Wessel pretty easily. Wessel now in 20th place. Von Sonnen a lap down. Porter only 1 lap down. I was wrong about Porter being 2 laps down. She's only 1 lap down. 2 laps down for Kovalkiewicz and for Lucero, who both had speeding penalties and had to serve drive-thrus. Glover in second place still, trying to find a way around Wessel, while Thomas Rogers has gotten around Alexander as the rookie of Natalia Vulicevic. Vulicevic up to the top 4, Alexander down to 5th. Kind of figured Alexander did not have the pace to maintain that front-running pace, and that was the case. As soon as we saw pit stops happen, Alexander was dispatched pretty quickly. Still top 5, though, ahead of Simona Leroux, who needs this good result, sitting 8th place in points at the moment. Would need an extra little boost to get back in the championship contending form, like we saw the Red Bull Highlight Racing cars do last season. There's Lucero 2 laps down alongside the 76. This is technically a battle for position, although Von Sonnen is wounded. Lucero is not. Lucero just having to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding. And now stuck behind as Leroux also struggles to get around the 76 machine. So those two stack up. There's the Chevy Camaro pace car. There is Natalia Kurachenko, 7th place, 8th place for Nicole Lechty, who is once again dispatched both the Honda cars of Crane and Hobson. Evangeline Porter also got around those two cars as she tries to battle with some of the cars that have now gone a lap down. Porter served a penalty for entering a closed pit lane, a stop-and-go penalty, at the beginning of this race on lap 5, and has not fully recovered in this process. 9th and 10th, looking in your screen there, Hobson in 10th, needing a good result. Hobson sitting 9th place in points, but it is a very crowded midfield. Michelin in 11th place ahead of Artyom Kozlov. Rex Riley has slowed in pace considerably. There's the race leader at the tail end of this pack. That's where Rex Riley is in it, everyone battling. And it slowed them down, and it's now slowed the race leader down as a result as well. Ochoa's gone a lap down. Jackson's gone a lap down. In this battle. Kamaya trying to find a way around the Canadian rookie. Kobayashi under threat, going a lap down. And there goes Kenosha around Kobayashi. A rookie learning his dues. So one of the best drivers that's come from Japan. And now it puts more drivers under pressure. There's Asada Kito under threat. Riley under threat from Kamaya, but will hold on to that position for the time being. This is 13th place, leading the train. Kenosha, 110 laps in, has already gotten to 16th place. That 18 car has been phenomenal in pace, but the biggest question mark right now, does that car have the reliability behind it? Answer to that question remains to be known, but it has to be at the forefront of that team's thoughts right now, as I see how well Kenosha has performed. They've rebounded nicely from the retirement earlier this season. For those that don't remember, Kenosha did not start off the season well, but has since hit on a streak, 3 race wins in 5 races overall. As Kenosha will put Marcus Petrovic a lap down. Petrovic being the odd one out, thanks to Kamaya and Kito. And now Kito will suffer the same fate. Race leader in this mess. And reminder, race leader still not being caught up to by Glover. That is how quickly Kenosha's working on this. Glover will likely spend a lot of time in this pack here when he gets to it. Glover's hope is that by the time this pack gets to him, pit stops will start. And that's still 20 laps away. It has been a very quick race so far. Again, Kenosha leads the championship and leads this race, looking to extend that gap at the front of the field. Kamaya now under pressure. In front of a car that has been as menacing to look at in your mirror as it is to look at it from above. Kenosha debuted this scheme last season in her championship campaign. considered it a good luck charm as she went on to win the championship. Became the primary of this team, and she has done phenomenal with it. All 3 wins have come in this paint scheme. Riley has picked up the pace a little bit. Quito looking to take back a lap. And he will, to the inside of the world champion. Looking for a lap back here. Under pressure from Kovalkiewicz, who's still a lap down compared to him. Quito just couldn't clear that pass. Kenosha has just a little bit too much pace at the moment, but Kenosha's also burning those tires up a little bit more, trying to get around these lap cars. Kenosha's car was not quite set up to handle the dirty air. Have to assume under the second pit stop that'll change significantly, as Kenosha now struggling to get around Kamaya and Riley. Kenosha moved to the outside of Kamaya, and Kenosha looking to find an extra way around. Go where they're not, and it works. Kamaya now a lap down. Kenosha's gotten to 13th. 13th, right in front of her. Kenosha peeks to the inside. Riley covers it off. Again, everyone racing for positions here and racing to get their lap back. Kenosha's going to have her hands full here. This is a gnarly mass of cars that has now found Glover and Rogers in it, as well as the 13 of Velisevich. It is a madhouse on this side of the track. Kenosha feigns to the inside. Riley did not do a lot to cover that off this time. Will stand side by side with the championship leader. This time through. Kenosha out of 4. Does she get clear of the Canadian driver? Not quite yet. Entering 1. She will now. Kenosha clear of the lap traffic with a lot of clean real estate in front. Riley likewise has some clean real estate behind her. Her gearbox not being covered up by Kamaya due to Alicia Kovalkiewicz. So the Polish driver doing Rex Riley a favor right now. Kovalkiewicz showing some pace in that Cherokee GP machine, but again, not on the lead lap. As Kovalkiewicz peeks to the inside of Riley. Riley covers it off, not keen on letting Kovalkiewicz go by. Kovalkiewicz not on the same lap. Kovalkiewicz is 2 laps down, I do believe. That would be correct. Kovalkiewicz is 2 down. Currently sitting in the 22nd position. This gnarly madhouse of cars has trapped everyone behind Kenosha in it. Glover's in it. Rogers is in it. Velisevich is in it. Not far away, although dealing with her own madness, is Alexander and Leroux. They're behind David Wessel. They've not even navigated the 50 car yet. Then you have Kurachenko, Lechty. There's Porter, who's a lap down. Now with a lot to gain. And then you have Lucero, 2 laps down. Cameron Jackson. Engine failure for Jackson. Does the caution come out here? He is at the exit of pit lane, and it will. Caution is out. And another Honda has found the exit stage left. On lap 130, before pit stop cycles began. How lucky for Kenosha. How unlucky for everybody else. Kenosha comes in. Lead lap cars will all come in here. Again, they were approaching the pit window anyway. Pit window was coming at lap 135. So this is a no-brainer stop. Nobody had made pit stops yet, so we're expecting a full pit cycle of cars. Cameron Jackson expected to be out of this race with another Honda failure. That is 3 in this race. The first 2 we know confirmed were engine failures for Sakura Ishibashi, the pole sitter. failed on the opening lap, coming to the green flag. Andrew Draco failed on lap 31. So Honda now in panic mode. That is 3 cars from the same 2 factory teams. Captain Racing being supported directly by Honda Japan. Dragon Motorsports being supported by HPD, Honda Performance Development. And both of those factory teams in significant trouble. That is red flag after red flag after red flag now. Vulicevic takes over second spot on pit lane. As we will end up having 12 cars on the lead lap here from Kinoshita down to Matthias Michelin. F1 13th on down, a lap down, over a third of the way through this race. Lap 150, the halfway point, lap 200, the 2/3 mark. Again, Firestone brought the red wall, softer compound alternate tires. Cautions out with the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 pace car leading the way. All the lap down cars leaving pit lane. Again, 12 cars on the lead lap. It's Kinoshita, then it's Vulicevic, Glover, Rogers, Alexander, Leroux, Kurachenko, Lechty, Crane, Hobson. That's your top 10. Artyom Kozlov and Matthias Michelin, the 12 on the lead lap. First car lap down, Rex Riley in 13th place. Then it's Kamaya, Petrovic, Kobayashi, Kito, Ochoa, Von Sonen, and David Wessel. All 1 lap down in that madhouse scramble in the mid-pack. And it's an ignition failure. Another engine component has failed. 3 different engine components for the 3 Honda retirements. Panic mode is engaged in the Honda camp as those engines have let go in pretty unspectacular fashion if you're a member of those teams or a fan of those teams. 1 lap to green for the second caution of the night. First caution was a 3-car crash between Wyatt Jones, Keisha Fox, and Anastasius Von Sonen. Jones and Fox retired on the spot from those races, from that crash. Von Sonen still racing 1 lap down in the top 20, hoping to hold on to that. 23 cars remain in this race. The DirecTV 225 at Richmond Raceway. The pathway to the 110th Indianapolis 500 runs through Virginia. Kinoshita leads. The rookie Vulicevic and the 13-year veteran and BK Glover. Green flag back in the air. Away we go here at Richmond. Racing once again. Fresh tires and clean track. We have ourselves a ball game. 5th place, Alexander. Everyone on fresh tires and level footing. Matthias Michelin taking advantage of the slower start by Kozlov, as there is the 2 lap down car of Kovalkiewicz, who served a penalty earlier in this race for speeding. Trying to move forward. Kovalkiewicz showing that she's got front-running pace in that 96 machine. Held on to Kinoshita in the later stage of that last run. She gets clear of Riley. Riley making use of the fact that it is a madhouse in this mid-pack. Fresh tires for everybody means extra grip and extra confidence. Yeah, drivers right now have short-term memory. They have put that lap 1 crash behind them. It is go time. Hobson got around Crane. That was for 9th. Kurachenko stays in 8th place. She's lost a spot to the Red Bull Highlight Racing car of Nicole Lechty. Simona Leroux just ahead. Then you have Alexander in the top 5, following the 2 front-running Team Impulse machines. Only Toyotas in the field, all of them on the lead lap. 3rd, 4th, and 11th. It is Honda and Chevrolet leading the way, though. The two red machines, Fujitsu versus Coca-Cola. What a weird battle we're seeing right now. Kanosta leading the way by 4/10 over Vulicevic. Then you have Glover in 3rd. Rogers battling for 4th place. Alexander, the second-generation driver, trying to make things happen, trying to follow the footsteps of her father, the late Michael Alexander, who had a phenomenal performance here back in 2006, his World Championship season. There's the two Red Bull racing machines. The Swiss Miss Simona Leroux and the Iron Maiden Nicole Lechty. Appropriate nicknames for how hard charging they can be at times. They are working together in tandem in the middle of a Striker Motorsports sandwich. Lechty working on her teammate now. Lechty wants to go to the front. Leroux, we saw stagnate a lot in that last stanza. Lechty knows it. Leroux can't do anything to stop it. Up to 6th place goes Lechty. And that swap in positions happened without Kurachenko getting a chance to go for a position here. So the Red Bull racing car is still working a little bit in tandem, making sure that they do not lose spots to some of their bigger opponents here. Kurachenko top 10 in points, not far behind that of Leroux, who's 8th place in points. And now they're nose to tail behind Nicole Lechty, who sits 3rd in points, trying to mitigate the points loss while also gaining on Artyom Kozlov, who still sits outside the top 10. Matthias Michelin's up to the 10th spot, having got around Asher Crane. You see the Petrobras machine. Excuse me, the Clara machine. Petrobras is green and yellow. But the Clara machine in the top 10 right now, working on 9th place, Esther Hobson. Striker Motorsports having itself a day. All 3 cars in the top 10 now. That team's had a resurgence there, the leading Alpine team. All 3 cars top 10. A huge amount of question marks and concerns about that Alpine team after the way this season started. They've not had race winning pace, but they've had pretty solid pace in this season. Crashes later on in the season at Nashville and at Texas did not help, but Keisha Fox started this race with a top 10 streak. Keisha Fox had 3 top 10s in a row, was the leading Alpine car by a mile. That is not the case anymore. Kurachenko now has that spot as leading Alpine car with 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. Alexander has a top 5 and a top 10, but also has a pole position to her credit. But Alpine showing up pretty hard on these short ovals. These short ovals seem to benefit that V6 turbo. Of course, big question marks for Alpine after this season. Cherokee GP already announced that it is leaving Alpine at the end of the year. One of Alpine's longest running customers. Moving on. Cherokee GP has not announced what program it is moving to, but it is announced that it is leaving. Vanta Racing has also been tempted, and it has been publicly known. Vanta Racing exploring other options. Alpine offered Striker Motorsports $4 million to not move to Toyota. And for Alpine right now, as it strives to cling to life in this series, a triple top 10 for the Alpine squad would do just that. Would do wonders for that team, and really for the engine manufacturer's morale. There's Hobson battling Kurachenko. Michelin standing to the inside, knows the inside lane's what's best right now. Even if it means working against his teammate, although Kurichenko holds the outside and makes it work. Kurichenko stays in the 8th position. This is all on the fringe of the top 10. Kozlov has made their way into the top 10. Kozlov up to 10th place, got around Astra Crane, the Allison Alien. Sorry, excuse me, Kozlov in 11th place, not top 10. He's crossed the halfway point, still in 13th place is Rex Riley, who has held off the onslaught the entire first half of this race. Rex Riley started this race near the back of the field, and so far has held on and held firm. Rex Riley started this race 25th, up 12 spots. Now this battle closing in once again. Kamaya and Porter applying pressure. Porter a lap down, back in the mix of it. Kamaya not far from the gearbox of Riley here. There's Kito, there's Petrovic, there's Kobayashi. Ochoa also in this mess. That's all the way down to 19th place. The only car that's not really in that conversation is David Wessel. Kenosha. We'll talk about how far clear Kenosha is. 3 seconds adrift of second place driver Natalia Filicevic. Next rally on the radio, complimenting her team for improving the handling of that 72 machine for Fortune Racing. That car went from having a lot of understeer, a lot of understeer really is the way to go, having a lot of front bite. They put a lot more front bite in that car, and it's helped that car defend 13th place, 1 lap down. Just in the fringe of the top 10, Artem Kozlov continues their pursuit of Matthias Michelin and that top 10. They're all being held up right now by Kurichenko, who sits in 8th place. They've watched as both the Red Bull High Level Racing cars have gotten clear and gotten away, as the pressure is now put on Elise Alexander to hold on to the top 5 ahead of Nicole Lechty. Alexander entered the day's race 14th in points. Matthias Michelin was 13th in points, so Striker Motorsports across the board will have a phenomenal point stay here at Richmond. A track that has traditionally been kind to the Striker Motorsports camp, although not in the last couple years. Return of form once again for that team. Even if it is not a race win, Caterpillar Racing's cars have just been phenomenal all season long, especially the high downforce kits have looked phenomenal. Road courses, short ovals, they seem to have a lot of stability in that car. And the big weakness right now is reliability and the super speedways. Super speedways, you look at Texas, we didn't see a lot out of that Caterpillar Racing team. Didn't see a lot of that team outside of Motegi. Obviously Strategy got them there at the end. But that almost fell through completely for that team at Motegi. That's another low downforce setup. So this team quickly showing its hand is like a high downforce expertise. Obviously short ovals a little bit different as far as the configuration of the suspension, but still generating a ton of downforce with the front and rear wings. A little bit further back from the race lead Rogers pressuring the rookie Vulicevic for second place. They are now hemorrhaging time once again. Pit stops expected again about lap 195. This is a two-stop race from here. Lap 195 and then lap 260 is expected, the pit windows here. Do we see it? Do we get another well-timed caution? Again, battle for second place is stalled out here as traffic has once again made its way through. Ochoa trying to get around Lucero. Former rivals in the Atlantic Championship. Kamai has lost a lot of pace. That 8 car is chewing through the right front. You can see that car is struggling to get back down to the bottom lane, not having a very pointed entry to turn 1 and 2. And that's what you need to have a good run down the back straightaway. Luckily, he's checking up all those behind him. But his turns 1 and 2 are not great. Riley's fell off a lot in that last lap as well. So Kamai trying to find it, but still, Kamai is still not getting completely hooked in on that inside lane in 1 and 2. Still struggling. Of course, on ovals, these drivers have in-car adjustments they can all make. You have your roll bars, front and rear roll bars, very important, as well as a weight jacker. Weight jacker, the right rear spring offset, determines exactly how much weight you put on that right rear tire. You put more weight on it, pushes it back a little bit, creates a little bit of understeer. Take weight off of that right front, you push it towards from the right rear to the right front, to the left front, excuse me. Because it works diagonal. If you apply more pressure to the front of the car, it lightens up the rear, makes it a little bit looser. And drivers right now, especially if you're in traffic, you have to play with both the weight jacker and the roll bars. As we mentioned before, the roll bar is very important, but you have to do them in tandem. Whatever you do to the front roll bar, you have to do equal and opposite to the rear. Of course, some drivers find unorthodox ways to make it work without doing that. Some drivers find a base setting that they like for the rear roll bar, and then they adjust the front. Or vice versa, they find a front setting they like, and they adjust the rear. Some of the veterans that used to race in this series a long time ago were very key on doing that strategy. Stephanie Porter Kelly, 3-time world champion, was a very big proponent of that. Would always have a pretty static rear roll bar, but would always adjust the front roll bar to whatever she needed out of the car. And obviously it worked. She got 40 race wins out of it. But very differing ideas and mentalities and strategies behind those in-car adjustments, but you have to be on them every lap. And right now, especially if you're the likes of Kamaya and Porter, even though you're a lap down, you're on those adjustments probably more so than the race leaders are. The race leaders, they're so fine-tuned, you usually just make one adjustment during a stint. Sometimes you'll make 2. You'll do it like every 10 or 15 laps. You don't typically start chasing the car. If you're in this group right now that we're watching right now with Riley and Kamaya, Porter, Quito, you're making adjustments every lap. You're chasing the handling of the car every lap. Again, at the front of the field, Kenosha has got a 4.5 second lead, and it's easier to browse backward as she's put David Wessel 2 laps down. Wessel's 2 laps down now as leaders outside of Kenosha start battling with Von Sonnen, another lap car, to put him 2 laps down. Rogers will use Von Sonnen to get to second place. There is Glover moving to third. Strategy has been very critical, and we've got 2 more stops to make. Glover's gotten around for third place. That puts Team Impulse second and third on the order. If they can hold on to this, it's going to be a fantastic day, but they've also got to deal with the resurging Nicole Lechty. Nicole Lechty doing a phenomenal job. Climbing forward in that Red Bull Highlight Racing number 78. There is Elise Alexander making a move for top 5 as Vulicevic has just been stranded behind Von Sonnen. It will eventually stop the bleeding here, but we'll go from 2nd to 5th. There is the 77 of Leroux, the Swiss Miss. Matthias Michelin surging forward, getting around teammate Kurachenko. That is for the 8th spot, but it's not so quick. Kurachenko gets a run out of turn 2 and holds on to the position, actually. So Kurachenko will take hold as 8th place once again. 10th place, Esther Hobson, under pressure from the Russian ace, Artem Kozlov, as they try to make their way into the top 10. 12th place, last car on lead lap, Asher Crane. Then you have, there's Alicia Kovalkiewicz, 2 laps down, up serving a speeding penalty early on in this race. Holding on to that lead group. Rex Riley leads the lap down cars, 13th place for the Canadian for Fortune Racing at the moment. Again, pit stops not far away here at Richmond Raceway. As Vulicevic finally finds a way around, as here comes the battle for 3rd between Lechty and Glover. Lechty took a look there last time, did not make it stick. Can Lechty make it stick here? Very important questions here at Richmond Raceway. Vulicevic back to the top 5, and firmly so. Has gotten clear of Von Sonnen. Rogers has gotten clear of Glover, as Glover's got his mirrors full of Red Bull Highlight Racing machine. Meanwhile, we've seen this before. Stop us if you've heard this before. Kenosha's caught up to lap traffic. And a lot of it. Pit stops going longer this time in this stint. Has the track cooled down a little bit, made it a little bit easier. Or is everyone trying to master the tire strategy game? It's still a 2 pit stop strategy call at the moment as things run. Don't expect that they can make it 100 laps when they do pit. But Kenosha being held up now by lap traffic. That's Lucero directly in front. Kenosha. Again, still stuck behind Lucero. Kamaya being passed now. Porter's gone through. Keto got loose. Out of 4, trying to get on the power. So Keto's been relying a little bit more on that weight jacker because that car squatted loose. The weight jacker, for those that remember the conversation at Nashville, the weight jacker, if you use it enough, it will increase the wear of that right rear tire. So if that's what Keto's been leaning on, he could be in trouble here. He could be one of the first ones to blink. Which is going to be very interesting because he was one of the last ones to blink on the first pit cycle. Petrovic trying to find a way around Keto here. Both Vontaire cars in this picture, as I believe Kenosha's come down pit lane, and indeed she has, as has most of the lead. I believe that is Nicole Lechty, now the race leader. So pit stops be extended by 8 laps. Nowhere near enough to make it without making another stop. Here comes Lechty. Lechty in pit lane this time. There's Von Sonnen. I believe this is going to move Alexander to the lead of the race. It will. Alexander, then Kozlov, top two. There's the other Red Bull Highlight Racing car of LaRoe in pit lane, as pit cycles have begun. And Alexander comes in here. Kozlov stays out one more lap. So Kozlov, give them some bonus points for leading a lap. Kurchenko coming out of pit lane here. Does Kozlov come in? Kozlov does come in and checks up those leaders while she was at it. Kurchenko tried squeezing through the middle and it didn't work, and it checked everybody up. So Kozlov, they've come down for service. They were one of the last leaders to come down for service. As pit sequence continues. Kenosha should still firmly become the race leader once again. There you'll find Kenosha. And there you'll find Rex Riley stays, importantly, just ahead of Kenosha. Rex Riley's found some real estate. You see the pace difference between Riley and Kenosha. Kenosha on fresh tires are just so hard to beat. As more cars come down and take service here at Richmond. There'll be one pit stop left in this race. About lap 280 now is the forecast. Between lap 275 and 280. See everyone's at here as everyone's spread out a little bit more. Now, we saw this before Cameron Jackson's engine failure. As Riley tries to hold on. Last car on lead lap now is Artyom Kozlov. Last one to pit. Has put them on the back foot. They sit in 8th place. A 3-second gap to make up to get back to the gearbox of Astrid Crane. And Crane is right there on her own. Alexander sitting now in the 10th position, right behind Esther Hofson. There is Matthias Michelin up to 8th place. Once again, LaRoe stuck in between the two leading striker cars. There's Kurchenko in the 84. Sitting in 6th, 5th place. Once again, Nicole Lechty chasing down the lap car of Katrina Ochoa and trying to get to the Reese's number 2 machine of Thomas Rogers, as the Team Impulse cars of Glover and Rogers try to work together on lap traffic here. And they are not terribly far away from this battle near the front of the field. Obviously, they're closer to Velisovich sitting in 2nd. Kenosha still dealing with lap traffic, though. Just got clear of Riley, who now has hands full with Marcus Petrovich, who's trying to make his way forward. There is the 8 of Kamaya. There's the 81 of Porter. All of them in range. Once again, the gang's back together. Again, this is the battle for 13th place right now going on. As Kenosha now puts sights on the 3 of Kozlov. That's the next car in range for Kenosha to try to lap, with less than 85 laps to go. Kozlov will not make it easy. Obviously, that 3 crew not happy with where they've been at so far this season. Kozlov entered tonight's race not on the best of terms. 25 points off the race lead, but Kozlov feeling very strongly that they should have been in the points lead had it not been for Nashville. So, a little bit of disappointment there for the 3 crew. Right now sitting in 12th position, just hasn't quite had the same level of pace that they had in Nashville. And Kenosha remaining hard to beat without reliability failures, which we have seen unfortunately twice already this season for the 18 crew, and we've already seen 3 times within the Honda camp tonight. Coming to 81 laps to go. It has been a very quick race. Very spread out, very unlike what we saw the last time we were here. A lot of cautions came out later on in the race. We've not seen that. .80 laps to go. Browsing and perusing through the field. 12 cars on the lead lap. You're either on the lead lap right now or you're 2 laps down. That is the indication there. As we browse and peruse through the field, seeing where everyone's at right now, the biggest battle is going to be for just outside the lead lap. First car lap down now, Evangeline Porter. For a brief period in time, Porter was race leader before needing to serve a penalty for entering a closed pit lane. It seems now that getting into the top 10 will be an impossibility without a lot of help. 13th place, the current ceiling for everyone 2 laps down right now. Even if Kozlov goes a lap down, they'll be the only car a lap down. They'll be in no man's land. Not only lap, but now 2 laps down with everybody else, firmly in the middle. And Kenosha is closing in. There is Von Sonnen, there's Asher Crane, 11th place. 11th, 10th, and 9th, all back together. Hobson, Alexander, and Crane. They've all lost touch of, that is Leroux, Michelin, and Kurachenko, with Kurachenko and Michelin dispatching Leroux. Ochoa not far behind. That is Nicole Lechty, stuck now in the 4th position. Oh, sorry, 5th position, excuse me. As the Team Impulse duo of Glover and Rogers try to make their way through some of the lap traffic now. And this lap traffic will slow them down. Porter's gotten clean air and has let go, set sail. Kenosha leads the way as laps continue to tick away. Fastest lap so far in this race, it is Kenosha. Who else? A 18.062, just a 100th ahead of Velisevich. Velisevich has had the second fastest lap at 18.072. Kurachenko, Kozlov, and Rogers in the top 5 and the fastest lap markers. So Kozlov showing some pace at points in that 3 car. Just hasn't been able to find it recently. Whoa, trouble for Von Sonnen. Von Sonnen in trouble. Von Sonnen's in trouble, and he will not make it back to pit lane. Is this a caution? Is this going to be a reset? It will be a reset. Caution is out. Caution is out. Kozlov is safe. Anastasius Von Sonnen a 4th. Honda has come to a stop. For the 3rd time tonight, caution's out. It'll pick up Kenosha. And this is critical. Kenosha did not slow down enough for the pace car. She did not slow down enough for the pace car. She could not pit. And so now she will be dropped to the back of the lead lap pack. That is a nightmare. A rare mistake by Kinoshita will put her behind the 8 ball. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. And Lecty's out with an engine failure. Chevrolet with an engine failure as well. Oh no. Lecty has fallen out. Chevrolet having issues now. What is next? With less than 70 laps to go. As the lead lap cars all come out of pit lane. And all the lap down cars come in, as well as the championship leader in Kini Kinoshita. Whatever the issue was for Von Sonnen, you can see right there, he is back on track. Not a terminal failure for Von Sonnen, but enough to draw out the third caution of the night. Von Sonnen now 5 laps down, firmly out of contention of anything tonight. This gives the race lead to Natalia Kurichenko, with Glover, Rogers, Kurichenko, and Michelin in the top 5. Now, fortunately for Kenosha, she's ahead of all the lap down cars. She doesn't have to worry about navigating lap traffic at the restart here. But she's got to pick off 11 lead lap cars that are now about to make life absolutely miserable. You talk about Kozlov. Obviously, they were frustrated after Nashville about not having that ability to close in and take the championship lead. Now, a chance to at least claw it back is in hand. And you can bet Kozlov is about to make life miserable. They're sitting at 2 cars ahead, Crane's in between. As now we're running through a breakneck pace to try to get to the front of the field. Who's got it, who doesn't? We may just have a lot of cautions yet. This would be the stanza where things get chaotic if they do. The field should be good on fuel and tires to go to the end of the race. Getting ready to go back green. It is on. The control 10 of the event is Von Sonnen, but race leader is Natalia Vulicevic, who will try to quickly dispatch the 76 car. Green flag back in the air and away we go. Can Vulicevic get by? She struggled lap traffic the entire last stanza. Rogers goes underneath his teammate. Glover gonna be under threat. Kurichenko sits in 4th place, just outside the podium places, as Vulicevic makes it around Von Sonnen here. Pressure is now on. Glover doing the same thing Rogers just did to him to get back to 2nd place. Vulicevic clear. Glover 2nd, 3rd place for Rogers at the moment as they all navigate lap traffic. Kurchenko trying to find a way around Von Sonnen here. Trying to force a way through. As the Team Impulse cars try to duke it out here. They're losing time to Vulicevic here. Striker Motorsports teammates working together to get clear of Von Sonnen. There's Leroux, the remaining Red Bull Highlight Racing machine in this race. Kozlov still mired in traffic right now behind Alexander. But it is almost 3 wide in front of them. With Hofson, Leroux, and Von Sonnen. Kenosha trying to charge as well. Kenosha struggling in this traffic as well. Kozlov staying behind Alexander at the moment as they both try to get around Hofson and Von Sonnen. Alexander gets around Hofson. Von Sonnen stays clear. Whoa, trouble almost! Alexander got loose out of turn 4, and that checks up Kozlov. Alexander will lose a lot of time behind Esther Hofson now, as Kozlov got moved out of the way by Kenosha. And the lap down cars haven't lost pace either. They're still in this mix as well. Kozlov now behind Kenosha trying to make things happen. If you can't beat him, follow him. That's the game plan for Kozlov now, who has immediately gotten around both Crane and the 11 Alexander to get back into the top 10. "11 cars on the lead lap. Alexander now in 11th place. 22 cars still running in this race. Kozlov staying right behind Kenosha. At the very least, trying to minimize the damage. As Kenosha looks to the inside of Hofson. This is just outside the top 10. This is for 7th place. And Hofson couldn't make any inroads with it. Kenosha finds another position there. Leroux up next for the world champion. Then it's Michelin, Kurchenko, then the Team Impulse duo of Rogers and Glover, who have caught right back up to Vulicevic. This battle for the lead, now 3 cars. Coming to 41 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway. pockets of 3 in this midst as Kenosha tries a hard charge to get to the front of the field. Kenosha stuck behind Michelin. Michelin did a pretty good job blocking Kenosha around that last time. Trying to play rear gunner right now for Kurichenko. But also buying time for the front 3. It has been a wild race so far, the way it has turned out, with Kenosha now having to charge forward through the back of the field. The 11 car of Alexander now 11th place. As battle for 12th is raged on now between Petrovic and Porter. Riley sitting in the 14th position, up from 25th, so up 11 spots from where they started. And then there's Quito, finding a way around former GP1 GP1 championship rival and Anastasius von Sonnen. Both are not on the same lap. Von Sonnen is 3 laps down from Quito. And Quito finds a way through. For the race lead rages on, coming to 31 laps to go. Vulisevich maintains the championship, maintains the race lead, while Kenosha, the championship leader, has gotten clear of both of the striker cars, up to 4th place for Kenosha, challenging now to try to get back onto the podium places. .30 laps to go. Can Kenosha get back to the front? Top 3 inner sights. Rogers looks to the inside of Glover as they both continue to hound down on Vulisevich. Kenosha's gotten right to the rear of Rogers and Glover. Kenosha looks to the inside of Rogers. Kenosha still can't find a way around Rogers. We're watching this battle here as it unfolds. It's allowed Vulisevich to get a runaway here. Kenosha once again peeks to the inside, but can't make any inroads here. Stalling out big time here with 21 laps to go. Rogers still applying pressure to Glover, as Vulisevich holds on to the race lead by about 3/10, about 4/10 here. There's Kurachenko and Michelin. Then you have Hobson, the only remaining Dragon Motorsports car in the field. There's Kozlov up to 8th place, LaRoe in 9th. Battle here for the 6th spot. Hobson trying to make an inroads here. Kozlov in pursuit as well. Hobson gets through and gets clear, importantly, but also backed Kozlov up to make sure that Kozlov couldn't get around Michelin as well. Kenosha peeks to the inside, forces her way to the inside of Rogers. Rogers trying to defend on the outside lane. Kenosha's got the advantage, though, has the grip and has 3rd place. Trying to charge forward with 15 laps to go. Glover shuts the door on for 2nd, though. Kenosha peeks to the inside, can't make it work. What can Glover do to hold off the defending world champion? Rogers, will they make it 3 wide? They do make it 3 wide through turn 1 and 2. This didn't work before. Will it work now? Somehow it does, and Kenosha takes 2nd place. Rogers gave it a shot, and it didn't pay off. Luckily, they all kept pointing in the right direction, but that could have been a disaster. Kenosha right to the bumper of Vulicevic. Kenosha looks to the inside of Vulicevic, trying to deny the rookie a first win. Side by side, Vulicevic holds firm for now. But Kenosha will make her way through. Coming to 4 laps to go. Kenosha looking to get around Wessel with 3 laps to go. Laps continue to tick away here. Two laps to go. 21 cars will see the finish. Esterhazen retiring at the end of this race with a gearbox failure. Coming to the white flag for one final lap. Here at Richmond, Kenosha finished 3rd. Last time she was here at Richmond. She'll do 2 spots better in 2023. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. The checkered flag belongs to Cutie Kenosha, her 4th win of the season, extending the championship lead. Natalia Vulicevic finishes 2nd, Thomas Rogers 3rd. BK Glover finishes 4th, a good recovery drive for him. Natalia Kurachenko in 5th position ahead of Mateus Michelin. Artem Kozlov takes 7th place ahead of Simona Leroux, with Asher Crane and Elise Alexander finishing the top 10. Looking down the rest of the order, Evangeline Porter finished 11th place, just outside the top 10. 12th place belongs to Marcus Petrovic, a good result for that Vantar Racing team, which had both cars in tonight's race. Elisha Kovalkiewicz went from being 25th at one point in this race to 13th place at the finish, ahead of Asada Kito, with Rex Riley finishing in 15th position. Kage Kobayashi, 16th place. 17th place belongs to the 36 crew of Katrina Ochoa, who made their first start this season. A feel-good story for that crew. 18th place for Car 8, Shinichi Kamaya. 19th place for David Wessel, who went 3 laps down. Bianca Lucero 3 laps down as well in 20th. 21st, last car running, is Anastasia Sponsonen. Then you have the retirement list. Esther Hofson, out with a gearbox failure. 22nd place for her. 23rd for Simona Leroux. Or not Simona Leroux, Nicole Leckie, the 78 car for Red Bull Pilot Racing. An engine failure there for Chevrolet. Another engine failure, a Honda one for Cameron Jackson, as well as Andrew Draco in 25th, 26th, and 27th. The accident on lap 2 involving Wyatt Jones and Keisha Fox. They finished 26th and 27th. And Sakura Ishibashi started first, finishes last after her engine failed on the formation lap. Cutie Kenosha, 4th win of the season, extends the championship lead here at Richmond. A phenomenal race saw 3 cautions tonight, and Kenosha charging back to the front of the field late to make things happen. Next time out, you'll see us. We'll be in Miami for the Hard Rock Grand Prix of Miami on the streets around the Hard Rock Stadium in downtown Miami. The road to the Indianapolis 500 continues here on ABN Sports. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Sports and the AT&T Champ Car World Series and the IndyCar World Championship, we appreciate everyone tuning in and spending your evening with us here tonight. On behalf of everyone here, so long, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in Miami in 2 weeks' time.